You're almost there, so close to peace, to balance, to that sense of control you've been chasing. But right when the destination comes into sight, someone steps in. Another demand, another favor, another expectation that steals a piece of you. Maybe it's family, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a stranger who sees your kindness as weakness. Either way, the result is the same. Your time, your focus, and your sanity are quietly drained. You've become everyone's solution, but your own life is slipping out of your hands. Be honest, how many times have you said yes out of guilt, fear, or habit, only to regret it later? You tell yourself it's compassion, but deep down, you know it's exhaustion wearing the mask of kindness. This is not noble sacrifice, it's slow self-destruction. Today, we're going to confront the truth. There are things you must never let anyone take from you. Not your energy, not your dignity, not your peace, because if you keep surrendering these pieces, there won't be anything left to rebuild. The first truth you must face is this: you are not responsible for carrying what others refuse to manage themselves. Every time you say yes to someone's chaos, you're saying no to your own clarity. You weren't born to solve every problem that crosses your path. You weren't put here to keep everyone comfortable while you silently crumble inside. Responsibilities that don't belong to you are like stones in a backpack. At first, they feel manageable. You think, it's just a small favor. I can handle it. But over time, those small stones turn into crushing weight. You start waking up tired before the day even begins. I've been there. Someone asked for a little help, and before I realized it, I was carrying their entire project, their drama, their guilt, and when I finally spoke up, they called me ungrateful or too sensitive. That's the moment I learned. When people get used to your overgiving, they mistake your exhaustion for weakness. Stoicism teaches us a brutal truth. If you allow it, people will make your peace their convenience. You have to understand this. Saying no isn't arrogance. It's self-respect. Every no you speak from truth becomes a wall protecting your time, your focus, and your sanity. When you stop carrying what isn't yours, you start rediscovering who you actually are beneath everyone else's expectations. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That means you don't owe your peace to anyone's chaos. You can care for people without becoming their caretaker. You can support someone without letting them drain you dry. Ask yourself this: does this task align with my purpose, or am I just afraid to disappoint someone? If it's fear driving your yes, then it's not kindness, it's self-betrayal. And self-betrayal repeated long enough becomes bitterness. When you draw a boundary, you aren't pushing people away. You're filtering who actually respects your limits. Those who truly value you won't be offended when you protect your energy. They'll admire you for it. Now, let's talk about another truth most people avoid. Don't let anyone drain your financial foundation. Money isn't just currency, it's the symbol of your effort, discipline, and time. Every dollar you earn represents hours you'll never get back. So, when someone casually asks for a loan or a temporary favor, they're not just asking for money, they're asking for a piece of your life. You tell yourself, it's just this once, but once is the favorite lie of every manipulator. Soon, your phone becomes a source of anxiety. Every ring carries another urgent story. Another reason you should rescue someone who never learns to stand on their own. And when the money never comes back, you're left with silence and resentment. Remember this: you are not a financial safety net for other people's poor choices. Compassion doesn't mean self-destruction. If you constantly say yes out of guilt, you're not being generous, you're being used. A Stoic would tell you, control your giving, or your giving will control you. Financial boundaries are not cruelty, they're wisdom in action. You can't build a calm, stable life if every emotional storm around you comes with a price tag. The truth is, not every emergency deserves your sacrifice. Some people live in constant crisis because they know someone like you will always step in to fix it. Stop letting that person be you. Before you open your wallet, pause and ask yourself, will this create peace or more dependence? If the answer is the latter, walk away. You're not here to fund bad habits or rescue people from lessons they refuse to learn. Remember what Seneca wrote, "He who gives to everyone gives to no one." That includes yourself. You cannot keep pouring out resources while your own life stays half-built. Save, invest, and protect what you've earned. Your financial strength is your freedom. It's what allows you to live with dignity, not desperation. Guard it fiercely. Every time you protect your resources, you're not being selfish, you're being disciplined. Now we move to one of the most subtle traps, family conflicts, the ones that disguise themselves as loyalty, but end up devouring your peace. You know how it starts. A phone call, a relative venting about another, followed by those heavy words. You need to talk to them. Suddenly, you're in the middle of a war you didn't start, trying to fix wounds that aren't yours to heal. You think you're doing the right thing? You tell yourself, I just want to keep the peace. But peace built on interference is an illusion. You can't mediate dysfunction into harmony. You can't make people mature by standing between their choices and consequences. Soon, you realize both sides resent you. You become the scapegoat for what they refuse to face. And when it's all over, you're left drained, doubting yourself, wondering why trying to help only made things worse. The Stoics understood this clearly. You don't have to hold an opinion about everything, nor involve yourself in every battle. You owe no one your involvement in chaos. When two people decide to fight, let them. When a family member demands you choose sides, refuse, not out of coldness, but out of wisdom. Because the moment you step into someone else's emotional battlefield, you've already lost your inner stillness. Understand this. Neutrality is not weakness, it's mastery. It takes real strength to say, this is not my fight. When you stop inserting yourself into other people's conflicts, you reclaim the mental energy that used to be scattered across other people's problems. Marcus Aurelius said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Applying that to conflict means this. If it's not your burden, don't carry it. If it's not your voice that's needed, stay silent. Protect your peace as you would protect your home. Don't let unnecessary drama walk through the door. The world already demands enough from you. You don't need to volunteer for more pain. Next comes a quieter, more dangerous theft, the theft of identity. It happens when you start changing yourself just to make others comfortable. You soften your edges, hide your truth, and bend your values just to fit in. You tell yourself it's harmless, I'm just adapting. But each compromise chips away at your sense of self until you're a stranger to your own reflection. People will pressure you to conform, dress differently, think differently, speak softer, don't be so intense. They call it advice. But what they really want is control. They want you predictable, agreeable, easy to manage. But here's the truth. Authenticity always threatens the insecure. Epictetus warned, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Meaning, if your truth makes others uncomfortable, that's their discomfort to bear, not yours. Never apologize for being the person your growth has made you. Change because it elevates you, not because it pacifies someone else. Let's be clear, bending to please others comes at a cost far higher than you realize. Every habit you abandon, every opinion you swallow, every choice you defer chips away at your confidence and leaves you dependent on validation. You begin asking yourself, am I enough? Am I doing it right? Instead of looking inward for answers, you measure yourself against the standards of others, and those standards are always moving. Take a moment to consider this. Your values, your routines, your principles. These are the scaffolding of your life. To compromise them for someone else is to weaken the foundation of everything you've built. You're not here to be a chameleon, shifting to match everyone's expectations. You are here to be yourself, unapologetically. Without negotiation, Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Protect your mind, protect your identity. Stand firm in the truth of who you are, and refuse to dilute yourself for anyone. Now, let's confront one of the most destructive habits, putting others' happiness above your own. Think about your day-to-day decisions. How often do you abandon what you want, skip what you need, or ignore your desires just to satisfy someone else? A small request here, a slight expectation there, over time, it becomes a pattern of self-erasure. Mark, a friend I know well, lived this trap. Every request from family, every plea from colleagues, he answered immediately, often sacrificing his own joy. Gym sessions skipped, social moments lost, hobbies abandoned. In his mind, it was duty. In reality, it was self-betrayal disguised as love. Eventually, he realized people expected him to vanish into their needs, and when he didn't, resentment brewed on both sides. The truth is harsh. You are not responsible for everyone else's happiness. You are responsible for your own. When you constantly sacrifice yourself, others start to take it for granted. Your freedom, your joy, your energy, they're yours first. not secondary. Here's the Stoic truth. Self-sacrifice for approval is a trap. Every time you bend to make someone else happy, you give up a piece of your autonomy. Happiness is not found in endless giving. It's found in alignment with your own values, priorities, and life purpose. Marcus Aurelius said, "A man is happy when he lives in harmony with himself." Notice he didn't say, "when others approve of him." Learn to distinguish love from exploitation. If someone pressures you to sacrifice your peace, ask yourself, is this truly love, or is it convenience and expectation disguised as affection? True relationships do not demand surrender. True connections allow each person to thrive without draining the other. Your first obligation is to yourself. Protect your mental space. Protect your time. Protect your joy. Saying no is not rebellion, it is self-respect. Every refusal is a declaration. My life is mine, and I will not be depleted for the comfort of others. Let's go deeper. Time is your most precious resource, and it is non-renewable. Once it's gone, it cannot be reclaimed. Yet, how often do you hand it over to people who neither value nor respect it? Endless interruptions, urgent demands, last-minute requests, all disguised as casual asks. Every yes you give without intention chips away at the hours you could spend building your life, your skills, or your inner calm. Imagine your day as a currency. Each minute is a coin. When you spend it on someone else's drama, anxiety, or irresponsibility, you deplete your wealth. And unlike money, you cannot earn back lost moments. Every decision to overextend yourself adds up, slowly eroding the very life you're trying to construct. Stoic philosophy teaches, guard your time like a fortress. Prioritize tasks and people who elevate you, not drain you. When you realize that every yes is a choice to give up a portion of your life, you begin to understand the immense power in saying no. Now, let's address another invisible thief, your energy. Not just physical energy, but emotional and mental stamina. Some people are masters at leeching your vitality without giving anything in return. They thrive on your responsiveness, your empathy, your constant availability. Over time, you feel exhausted, irritable, and emotionally drained, often without realizing why. Energy is not endless. Every moment you spend managing other people's chaos, soothing insecurities, or rescuing irresponsibility is a moment taken from your growth, your focus, your clarity. The more you give without discernment, the less you have for the things that matter, your passions, your health, your relationships with people who actually respect you. The Stoics teach that external events only have power if you allow them to control your mind and mood. You must actively choose where your energy flows. Protect it fiercely. Say no when needed. Step away when necessary. Reclaim your vitality, because without it, every goal, every dream, every piece of self-discipline becomes unattainable. Let's confront the subtle but corrosive pressure to conform. The world wants you to shrink yourself to make them comfortable. Family, friends, colleagues, they all have unspoken expectations about who you should be, how you should act, what you should achieve. And when you chase their approval, you gradually erode the very essence that makes you unique. This is where discipline meets courage. True power comes from living by your own standards, not someone else's. Every time you bend to please, you sacrifice a piece of your autonomy. Every concession to outside pressure is a victory for mediocrity over your potential. The world will always whisper, change to fit in, but fitting in at the cost of your soul is a slow death. Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Stop letting external voices dictate your identity. Stand firm, guard your values, live deliberately. Your authenticity is the foundation of your freedom, and freedom is the root of every Stoic virtue. Now we face one of the most overlooked drains, your attention. In a world flooded with requests, notifications, and distractions, your focus becomes prey. Every unnecessary conversation, every trivial obligation, every urgent but insignificant demand pulls you away from the life you're trying to build. Time lost is energy lost, and energy lost is potential lost. Think about it. How often do you feel exhausted not because of physical labor, but because your mind is scattered, your attention stolen by the problems, dramas, and expectations of others? This is a subtle theft, yet it's relentless. Your clarity, creativity, and decision-making capacity are at stake every single day. Marcus Aurelius taught that we are disturbed not by events, but by the view we take of them. Protect your mental space. Decide what deserves your attention. Say no to distractions disguised as obligations. Focus is your weapon. Guard it, sharpen it, and direct it toward your goals. Because once your attention is surrendered, nothing else in life can flourish. Next, let's expose another harsh reality. People will test your boundaries until you enforce them. The moment you hesitate or feel guilty for saying no, they push harder. They exploit your kindness, manipulate your sense of duty, and pressure you to surrender pieces of yourself you cannot afford to lose. If you don't act decisively, this becomes a cycle of exhaustion, resentment, and invisibility. Discipline is not just about resisting laziness, it's about defending your life. Every time someone asks for your time, energy, or resources, pause and assess, is this mine to give, or am I enabling dependency? The answer must dictate your action, not your fear of conflict. People will complain, criticize, or try to make you feel selfish. That is inevitable. What matters is that you remain unwavering in the protection of your peace. Seneca said, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." If someone consistently depletes you without contributing value, your duty is clear. Distance yourself, limit engagement, and preserve your inner calm. Your life is not a public utility. It's yours. Guard it. Now, let's address the trap of emotional overinvestment in others' problems. You are not the architect of everyone else's life. Yet too often, you get pulled into their storms, absorbing their stress, anxiety, and chaos as if it were your own. The result? Your mental clarity erodes, your focus fragments, and your ability to pursue your own purpose diminishes. Stoicism teaches that distinguish between what is within your control and what is not. You can advise, you can support, but you cannot solve another person's irresponsibility, nor should you sacrifice yourself in the process. When you try, you become a vessel for their frustration, not a helper. This is the danger of blurred boundaries. Help becomes enmeshment, and enmeshment becomes emotional debt that never gets repaid. The solution is radical, yet simple. Detach without abandoning, care without consuming, guide when asked, but refuse to absorb what is not yours. Your energy is sacred. Protect it fiercely. Remember, every moment spent repairing someone else's life is a moment lost building your own. Let's confront another silent predator, approval addiction. Many people live enslaved by the opinions of others, constantly seeking validation, adjusting their actions to avoid disapproval, and measuring worth through external eyes. This is subtle but devastating. Your decisions, your identity, even your happiness become conditional on someone else's judgment. Stoic wisdom teaches the ultimate freedom lies in internal sovereignty. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." If your peace depends on approval, it will be stolen daily. Friends, family, society, they will always find ways to pressure you, criticize you, or subtly shame you into conformity. If you bend every time, you erode the very foundation of your character. True power is rooted in self-respect, not external applause. Decide for yourself what is right. Act in alignment with your values. If others don't understand or resent it, that's their burden, not yours. The fewer approvals you chase, the more mental space, energy, and courage you reclaim to pursue the life that truly matters. Now, we tackle a subtle but crushing form of theft, the sacrifice of your joy for the comfort of others. How often do you skip the things that bring you happiness because someone else needs you, or because you're afraid they'll be upset? Small compromises pile up, creating a life of quiet resentment and unfulfilled potential. Mark, my friend, realized too late that he had become a spectator in his own life. Every gym session missed, every hobby abandoned, every personal goal postponed chipped away at his sense of purpose. People around him assumed his availability was endless, and when it wasn't, they were disappointed. And that disappointment, it wasn't love, it was expectation. Stoics remind us that happiness is cultivated internally, not borrowed from others. Your joy is not optional, it's not negotiable. Saying no to obligations that suffocate your spirit is not selfish, it's survival. Every time you protect your joy, you reclaim energy, clarity, and a sense of ownership over your life. You cannot serve anyone effectively if your own well-being is depleted. Let's face the unspoken truth. Peace is a battle, not a gift. The world doesn't hand it to you. It must be defended, claimed, and cultivated every single day. Every unnecessary conflict, every exploiter, every manipulator is a threat to it. And make no mistake, if you do not actively protect your peace, others will quietly steal it. Piece by piece, Marcus Aurelius wrote, The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. That means if your mind is constantly drained, scattered, or overwhelmed by external demands, your inner life reflects that chaos. To reclaim serenity, you must choose carefully where you invest your attention, your energy, and your emotional commitment. This requires courage, the courage to say no, to step away, and to stand alone if necessary. Your life is finite. Every yes to something unworthy is a no to something essential. Discipline your boundaries, respect your time, and refuse to let anyone extract what is rightfully yours. Peace is not passive, it is a fortress, and you are the gatekeeper. Finally, let's confront the ultimate truth. Your life is yours, and no one else's. You are not a supporting character in someone else's story. You are the main architect of your existence. Every boundary you enforce, every refusal you make, every act of self-respect is a brick in the foundation of your autonomy. Too many people drift through life, giving away their time, energy, money, and joy as if it's infinite. They wake up one day and realize they've lived for everyone else, while their own dreams and peace have been sidelined. Stoicism teaches that freedom is the product of discipline. Protecting your soul, your mind, and your values is the ultimate act of self-discipline. Ask yourself daily, what am I allowing to drain me? What boundaries do I need to enforce to preserve my life? Every small decision to prioritize yourself compounds into resilience, clarity, and control. The world may resist, pressure, or resent you, but your loyalty must be to yourself first. Only then can you live fully, courageously, and without compromise. Here's the final, uncompromising truth. Your peace, your energy, your joy, they are priceless. And no one else has the right to take them. Life is short. Every distraction, every expectation, every conflict that isn't yours steals something irreplaceable. The people, the obligations, the pressures, they will never stop coming. The only thing you control is how much of yourself you are willing to give away. By saying no to what drains you, by standing firm in your values, by guarding your money, time, and energy, you reclaim the life you were meant to live. Stoicism and modern psychology both converge on this. Your happiness is your responsibility. Marcus Aurelius said, "Reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears." Applied to life, this means refusing to surrender. Your well-being eliminates the power others have over you. Picture tomorrow, a day where unnecessary obligations don't dictate your energy, where you choose your focus, where your joy is defended. That life is possible. It starts with one decision: to take back control, to honor yourself, and to live deliberately. Begin today. Guard your soul. Protect your peace. Build a life that is yours, bold, disciplined, and free.